All right, so let's talk real quick on a budget reflex sight that you can throw on your AR-15 or on a 22 rifle or airsoft, what have you. This particular sight is really common. You see it mounted on this DPMS, and there's a lot of brand names out there that carry this particular design. I'm talking NC Star, AIM Sports, Firefield, I believe GMG. There's all these different little budget manufacturers out there that carry this design. And it's a basic reflex design. You've seen it a lot, and it's real cheaply made. You're talking about $30, $40 on average for these things. Sometimes even a little bit cheaper. So keep that in mind. This particular one is actually branded TruGlo right here. So the reason I wanted to talk about this site is just because it seems like every sporting goods store that I go to here in my area has these, whether it's a big chain, small chain, mom and pop, whatnot. They've got TruGlo optics, and inevitably they have a couple of these real inexpensive reflex sights. So there's really nothing special about this reflex sight that sets it apart from the other ones branded AIM Sports or NC Star or whatnot. In fact, I think they all come from the same parent factory in China. It's China made, and the companies just throw their different brand names on it and then sell it. So this particular one is pretty simple. One thing this does not have that some of the other ones have is this doesn't have the rear knob. This particular model doesn't have the rear knob where you can change the look of the reticle. Some of the ones have that where you can change it from a crosshatch to a dot to a semicircle and whatnot. This is just plain old red dot. It does have red and green. Let's see if I can angle this perfectly. We'll start off with the green. There's your green right there. And there's different levels. So here's your brightest level on green, and I'll just kind of cycle it down until it's off. And then if I keep going, now I'm on red. So there's your red, darker, darker, darker. And let's see, that should be on 1. The red is very, very dark on the 1 setting. It's darker than the 1 setting on the green. You can only see this pretty much if you have no lights on. And then there's 0. So this thing is really simple. 2 mounting screws right here. You want to get them hand tight and then use an Allen wrench to tighten them just a little bit more. You don't want to over tight these things because of the soft metal. You'll bend the screws or you'll strip it out. This particular one has your vertical and horizontal sight alignment right there, so that way you can get this thing zeroed into whatever gun you're using this on, or even if you're using it on an airsoft or whatever you want to do with this thing. It does have an exposed emitter. So basically how it works is this has a coating. The little emitter comes out right here and reflects back, and then that gives you the dot to look at. So it is exposed. Some of the wiring is exposed underneath a little bit through ports. It's not really waterproof, even though some of them may claim to be a little bit waterproof. I've always found that not to be the case. So if you get a lot of water in this, you could mess it up. If you get dirt or anything in right there, you're going to block the emitter, and it's pretty much a useless sight. So my experience with this particular sight on this gun, I've only been using it in a range type application. That's just taking it to the shooting range and just shooting it casually. I haven't done any type of so-called run and gun with it or anything like that because I already know about these sights. These sights are not meant to handle up to that. You may get lucky, and if you get a sight that handles it for a little bit, then good deal. But these sights I look at as just recreation use only. Take it to the range, shoot it. Maybe if you're having a relaxed day shooting gophers or rock chucks or something like that, it may work for you. Today I had this out and I was shooting at the 300-yard gong with it, no problem. It does hold at 0. With this 223, I can't speak to any other larger calibers because I haven't tried it with that. I haven't tried it with the 7.62 by 39. If you go to a buddy of mine, Fu Ying Bro's channel, he actually had a review on one of these a long time ago, one of these style sights, and he shot it with an SKS, that's 7.62 by 39, and it seemed to have held up at least for a while to that. It seemed to hold 0 and whatnot. I can't remember the status of it now. I'm not sure if it failed yet. But in any case, for this particular gun, the 223, shooting wolf ammo holds up just fine so far. If you're looking to try out a red dot, if you've never shot any type of red dot optic before and you just want to see what it's like, then I recommend something like this. I say that because it's better to spend just a little bit of money, see if you like the sight picture of a red dot, and if it's something you want to continue on with, then you can go ahead and spend your hard-earned money on something more expensive like a primary arms or a vortex strike fire, or even move up to the aim points and all those fancy red dots out there. But there's no need spending tons of money on a red dot and then figuring out, I prefer irons or I prefer magnified optic. So this is something good to just kind of get your feet a little bit wet and see what goes on. Buying these, I don't expect them to last long, and neither should you. I would not even suggest that you buy one of these on a serious AR. I guess if you're going to use an AR for serious home defense or something like that, I'd probably steer you away from this, and I'd probably say, why don't we do iron sights and then throw a good flashlight on it, so you still have a good crisp sight picture at night with your flashlight. I would steer you more that direction versus one of these. Some people, theirs work quite a bit, and some people, it just fails after 20, 30, 40 rounds. It is what it is. When you buy stuff like this for an optic, you are rolling the dice. When they're made good, they're actually made decent. But if you just get that batch that wasn't made too well, then you're going to have problems. But for what it is, if you're looking to try out a basic red dot, or if you guys or gals happen to be in like airsoft or something like that, then right here, this would be something neat. If you have kids or siblings or whatever you want to give a present to that they're into the airsoft community, there you go. Because this will be a cool little sight to throw on a little airsoft gun and go out and do little skirmish wars with and such like that. So anyway, stop the review. No need to get too long-winded about this. It is what it is. Give you another little look of the sight. One thing before I leave, and turn this video off. One thing I noticed, if you have a light source coming back this way from the rear, the emitter does show up in the field of view. So not only are you seeing the little red dot, but you see the emitter a little bit as well. And that does prove to be a little bit distracting. So just something to note with this particular TruGlo sight. I don't know if that happens on all of them, but just something to keep an eye out for. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, stay safe, like, subscribe, tell your buddies about me, whatever. All right. Thanks a lot.